house. A father jumps into freezing cold water with his 1-year-old. UFC chaos before the cage even opens. Fighters on the run. Streamers getting rocked. And ChatGPT making family photos. We're talking title fights, jail rumors, relationships, reality checks, and why tragedy turns some young men into their best selves. Episode 47 starts now, guys. What's up, everybody? That's Nothing's Forever by Stano and Xavier Valens. Check it out. The link will be in description. Happy Monday, guys. Welcome to episode 47 of the Daily Dose podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Gonna be a great episode today, guys. Shout outs to our sponsors, Jackpack LLC, 1GM Construction, and Complete Solutions LLC. Tap in with us for anything you need, remodeling, commercial cleaning, parking lot striping, any and everything, we get it taken care of, guys. It's going to be a great episode. Finally, this weekend, UFC 324, the debut card on Paramount Plus. And man, is it packed, guys. Let's get right into it. UFC 324, the first big news that I think of is Carl Harrison, Carl Harrison broke that big-ass neck. No, I'm just kidding. Kayla Harrison last week announced that she was pulling out. And it was pretty interesting because the video she posted, she was like already in the hospital wearing a neck brace and stuff like that. So she must have been battling this for a long time. You don't just pop up kind of injured like that. So, she must have been trying to push through. Things happen. So I'm sure they'll get that rebooked, or kind of just depends how that neck injury goes. We know Amanda hasn't really been, too active as of late, of course. So let's go over this card though, guys. The very first fight of the night, Adam Fugit versus Ty Miller. He's actually out of Albuquerque, so we're taking Ty Miller on that one. That's going to be sick. I just wanted to give a shout out there. You got Michael Johnson on the card, Ricky Cersos. He had won the Ultimate Fighter. You got Nikita Krylov. You got Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davison Figueiredo to close out the prelims. Man, that is a tough one. I'm taking Umar Nurmagomedov. I think his abilities and strengths at 135. I think he'll be able to control the grapple exchanges. They'll probably, have a good amount of stand-up where I think because of his, grappling, he'll be able to get the better exchanges there. But should be a great fight. To open up the main card, Arnold Allen versus Jon Silva. Man, this is such a tough one. This is a big fight for Jon Silva. How does he do coming off a loss? How's his confidence? Is he still barking? Is he still yelling? With Arnold Allen, we can always kind of know what we get. He's always down for a war. This is such a 50-50. I'm taking Jon Silva in that one. Possibly a late round stoppage, if not unanimous decision. We got Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas. As always, we rocking with Thug Rose. I'm going by unanimous decision on that one. I'm guessing Silva is an up-and-comer. Haven't really heard of her. Could be a tough fight. We'll have to see how it goes. You got Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. Now, of course, at heavyweight, it can always go either way. Derek Lewis loves to get in their exchange. I really, really want to pick Derek Lewis, and he could get it done. But I think I'm going with Waldo Cortez Acosta by second round TKO. Now, in the co-main event, this is a huge fight. A lot on the line for Sean O'Malley. We got Sean O'Malley versus Song Yudong. Of course, I'm going with Sean O'Malley. Hopefully by a knockout, if not the decision. But this is a big fight for him. I believe that if he wins in spectacular fashion, goes out there and gets a knockout, that he can definitely fight Peter Yan on that White House card. On the flip side, if he loses to Song Yudong, I don't know that there's really much for him, right? He makes tons of money outside of the cage. He's created, a beautiful future for him and his family. He's always said, if I can't be the best, I don't want to be here. So really, really big fight for him. Of course, I'm taking him. I think he's going to get it done. But, Song Yudong is a great competitor, great on the feet, great on the ground. It really will be a tough fight. Now in the main event, we got Justin, the Highlight Gaethje, versus Patty, the Batty Pimblett. Now this is a tough one as well, man. All these fights, shout outs to the UFC. We've been missing you guys. Patty, I definitely think he could get it done. I think on the feet, he could maybe catch Gaethje, end up going to the ground and submitting him, like we've seen Charles Oliveira, Khabib, some other people do. But the main thing is, even on recent training videos, Paddy still keeps that chin way in the air. I think it was on the embedded or the road to the octagon, whatever it was leading up to the fight I watched the other day. He's still doing pad work. He still holds that chin up in the air. So I believe if Gaethje catches him with the overhand, he can definitely put him down, if not put him out. I'm going to go with Paddy the Baddy by third round submission. But like I said, I just wanted to mention the thing with Gaethje because I feel like a lot of people are already writing him off, and it's really going to be a lot harder than that. Beautiful, though, guys. UFC 324 this weekend. UFC 325 next weekend. Fight night after that. The UFC is back rolling. If you have Paramount Plus, the beauty of it, it is absolutely free. That's really going to be awesome. You know, for me this year, I'm going to really live stream a lot of the fights, my reactions, my commentary, and just look forward to building with the channel. So let's get into some other stuff here, guys. UFC 324 was beautiful. Some other upcoming fights, they weren't on one card necessarily, but we got Adesanya versus Pyfer. Now, this is a big fight for Israel Adesanya, kind of similar to Sean O'Malley. If he gets a big win, he's back up in there because his name, because of his accolades. But if he loses to Joe Pyfer, which he throws bombs, he could easily, catch him with one of those big strikes in a war. If he loses to Joe Pyfer, that's pretty much it as far as, another title run. And, he would probably be done as well. Gosh, that's just the unfortunate part about this sport is, all your favorite fighters go on a huge run, and like everything, it must come to an end. So hopefully Izzy can pull that one off. We got Alexa Grasso versus Macy Barber 2. We got Paulo Costa versus Murzakanov. We got Laron Murphy versus Evalev. So this is going to be an interesting one. That's definitely number one contender. Winner gets the title shot. I think Laron Murphy's going to pull that one off. You got Dracus du Plessis versus Brendan Allen. Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vallejos. Marcin Tybura versus Walter Walker. And Michael Chiesa versus Harris. I wasn't sure who that one is. A lot of good fights, a lot of good cards, guys. It feels good to be back and covering the sports. Shout outs to Jamal Herrig. He's a boxing veteran. Had a big win in BKFC this past weekend. Looked good. It's always interesting, how do their hands feel? How does the not having gloves with the distance, the pace, the 2-minute rounds, how does everything go? A lot of times we find out right away, and Jamal looked good. He was controlling the pace. He was sticking and moving. Didn't look like he had a problem at all. So definitely curious to see how he looks from there. Something absolutely funny, guys. I was watching Mike Perry's podcast, and he said that he got a fight offer from somebody in Saudi to fight Andy Ruiz in MMA. Now, I was like, that's absolutely insane. He said he accepted, and he hasn't heard anything back, but I'm just like, guys, what is that? Even he himself was like, yeah, it's going to be a tough night in the office. Being that he was never really a takedown artist or anything like that, if he stands on the feet with 4-ounce gloves with heavyweight Andy Ruiz, love you, Mike Perry, but that will be a bad night in the office. So hopefully it doesn't come together, but he's absolutely hilarious. He's like, yeah, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? I'm down. So just absolutely a nut. We got Arman Sarukian. He's been, trending. He's been in the news a lot lately. He's been on a lot of different podcasts. I think if he really worked on his English and he won the belt, he could actually be a good champion. He does seem like deep down he's a good person. He has an insane amount of money. His family's papered up, but everywhere he goes around with Neon, he's buying stuff. He's taking care of things. Neon's, tripping about the money and stuff. So he definitely has some funny moments too. Great fighter, obviously. It's interesting with him. They say when you're set for life like that, it's hard to be a fighter, but Armin's a bad dude. He's in shape. I mean, he absolutely manhandled people in the wrestling. Lance Palmer last weekend. So, yeah, he's a beast, man. Definitely interesting. I just think it's cool. We're getting to see a little bit of his personality, and that's the beauty of having platforms, having channels, stuff like that to help get these fighters out there. It gives you a different side of them. Now, Jon Jones posts a video telling Alex Pereira You don't want the smoke, buddy. I finished a lot of your former legends.
Good one to add to my
Woo! Guys,
Be careful what
I'm
you
telling
wish
you
for.
now, Dana says this and that. If Tom
I beat
Aspinall is not ready to go, we will see Alex Pereira versus Jon Jones on that White House card. It's going to be juicy, guys. We'll get into that a little bit later. Sean Strickland has a fight coming up with Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. He posted a picture for the flyer. He's in an ice outfit, and obviously Fluffy's in like a inmate outfit or whatever. And people are just, shocked, upset. Man, guys, come on. That's Sean. Would you expect anything less from Sean Strickland, guys? Come on. Get with the program. You know this buddy is always just trying to stir the pot, and you guys just fall right for it. Real quick, guys, if you've tuned in this long, I appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We got a lot of good content coming this year. Let's get back into the podcast. Now, there's this video, this Russian father, he goes into this stream of freezing cold water. There's snow all around and brings his 1-year-old with him. I was reading, that in Russia and other countries, they like to really put their young kids through these hard situations to help them. I'm like, shout outs to you, my boy. I'm not even getting in that damn cold water. Some of these guys are absolutely crazy, but different cultures do different things. I show speed. Now, shout outs to him for multiple reasons. Go watch his stream from inside the pyramids. He live streamed in there. It was absolutely cool to see some of the videos, some of the stuff in there. But as he goes around the world, he shows how similar humans are, right? Good people. There's good, passionate, honest people in every country all around the world. And unfortunately, the media portrays a lot of places differently than they actually are, right? He's been going all over Africa, going all over to some of these places. He has a good time. People are showing him nothing but love everywhere he goes. So I just say that to say shout outs to him for showing it. He's obviously a good person, but also just a reality check for people that can't see that the news makes stuff look a lot worse, a lot different than it is a lot of the time. So make sure if you have a chance to see stuff firsthand, give your opinion based on that. Excuse me. Now, this was absolutely hilarious. This, lesbian couple, none against them, but it was hilarious. They posted a picture to ChatGPT, and they asked it to create a family photo of, like, them and a kid. And it looked like a couple plus a kid that was probably one of theirs from a previous relationship. And then ChatGPT, instead of adding a kid with them, it assumed that the kid and one of the girls that looked like a little boy was a kid, and it added a male into there. So now you had a dad, a woman, and 2 kids. It was so damn funny. I'm sure those people were hot, but shout outs to ChatGPT on that one. Now, and I'm going to post this video. I want some of you jewelers, anybody who's a jeweler or knows a jeweler, I want you guys to tap in. This dude, Hustle Cartel, says he has like $16 million worth of jewelry on. Again, I'm not an expert. I doubt those are $1 million bracelets, though. I think Buddy's capping, even if they are real. So some of you guys, somebody fact check that for me. As well as just, again, all this fake jewelry. I've addressed this a bunch, guys. Your homie that has an '04 Honda Civic asking you to borrow $50 until payday is not wearing a real Cartier, Rolex, this, that, chain. Guys, fake jewelry and moissanite and replicas are all over on the rise. You got to look at the whole situation, right? If somebody just don't have money, they don't have a watch like that, guys. It's pretty simple, straightforward. Now the White House card. It's allegedly supposed to have 6 to 7 title fights. I seen some people really pumped. I seen some people like, that could be too much. That could get boring. And I would say that you definitely, if you're going to do that, you have to have the right matchups, because sometimes these high-level chess matches to your casual fans are not entertaining, right? So if you are going to have 6 to 7 title fights, they need to be placed correctly, and they need to be the right matchups in between bangers. Make sure it's, fights that are going to really deliver, because, you don't want 6, 7 decisions, long, dragged-out fights. That would be... And that'd be like one of those cards where they have all those shows and everything like that. So definitely a little too much. Now let's get into some other hip-hop news and culture. Finesse 2 times. This guy is just crazy. I really think he just loves the clips. Someone posted a picture of him from back in the day. He was beefing with some guy, and he went and made a RIP shirt of him and posted it. Like, dog, you ain't doing nothing. This dude guaranteed fights like he's swimming with his head down. Guys, people that know what real confrontation brings, especially fighters, for example, like fighters when they're out and about, don't try and start a fight at the bar, because your average person, your average street fight is 1 minute long, bunch of bums swinging punches, nothing really happens. When someone really knows how to fight and an altercation goes off, people can get kicked in the head, slammed on their head, elbowed in the face. Like it's necessary sometimes, but it's not what people think it is. The guy yelling "hit me" has never been hit before. So that boy Finesse just be yelling, talking about if you too big, you don't have to shoot you. He's just messing with people. I think he's just on his perks talking, but that boy is something else. Now, last week, Drewski dropped a skit about mega churches. One of the that dude is the funniest when it comes to skits. That NASCAR one, tons of skits where he's just on the money. And so the mega church, I see him getting a lot of flack. Guys, I go to church, doesn't bother me at all. If you go to a church and they do any of that, you might be offended. But all of his stuff was spot on in the sense there are some churches that do that. Not every church is like that, but there are some like that, and it was absolutely hilarious with the donations. These pastors coming to church in all Dior, and absolutely hilarious, guys. It was a really good skit. So shout outs to him for just making people laugh. Now, something I see a lot, especially with like celebrities or gangsters when they're hitting mitts and stuff like that. These dudes look horrible, and they're doing like the Philly shell. First of all, guys, only Floyd Mayweather can successfully pull off the Philly shell. If you're not Floyd Mayweather, please don't do the Philly shell. Drake hitting mitts doing the Philly shell, stop that. That would never work in real life. All these street dudes, you see them, stop that. Only Floyd Money Mayweather was successful 100% of the time with the Philly shell. Shout outs to all my UK and Canada fans. Been getting a lot of, not a lot, but a decent amount of views from over there. So shout outs to y'all. What's up? Appreciate y'all. Tap in. Let me know what y'all want content-wise or whatever. But just wanted to give you guys a shout out. Prayers for the legendary rapper Corrupt. He's been hospitalized for a few weeks now, battling some type of issues. Not too sure exactly, but he's a legend. Hope for a full recovery for him. Something interesting with Kai Cenat. So now he said he's going to quit streaming and start a clothing line. And I hope this picture is catfish, but it looks like his first piece is going to be interesting to say the least. Now, people are giving him a lot of flack. I think that's how it should be. If he became a streamer, it's something he loved, he was invested in. He's made millions and millions of dollars. Now he can do literally any and everything in life. So now he's like, dang, what else did I like? What else would I want to accomplish? And he's doing it. That's exactly what you should do, because really anything that he does, he's going to be successful. Clothing, anything like that, because he has such a big following. So shout outs to him. He seems like a really cool guy. One thing I did want to address, it's interesting, and guys, we got to stop doing this as men and young men. But so Kai Cenat, breaks up with his girl. Now he wants to try all these things and get in shape and do this and that. Guys, you should, as a young man, especially a man trying to get his life together, be in good shape, get his money right, you should not wait until you have a heartbreak or a tragedy to be the best you. That's what you should be striving for every day as a man, guys. So that's one thing I don't like. I've always tried to be in my best shape and be my best and all that. Some guys they get in relationships and they just don't do anything. They're content. They get out of shape. They don't pursue stuff. Heartbreak, they completely change. Guys, be that person all the time that's pursuing, that's trying to be the best you. That's your duty as a man, to give back, get in the best shape you can, raise a family. So some of y'all need to quit waiting for some dumb stuff like that to get your shit together. Shout outs to Vitaly. I did see that he's currently being deported back to Russia. I guess he's a Russian citizen, but he did survive all that prison nonsense in the Philippines. Looks like he didn't get any hands cut off. I didn't see exactly, but I think he's okay. Now, this was absolutely crazy. Two of the Vargas brothers, Fernando Vargas' sons, get in an argument, a drunken argument last night at one of the casinos out in Vegas. They start throwing blows. Guys, shame on you, especially with your dad, your brand, everything like that. To just be a drunk idiot like that, it's like, what is wrong with you guys? You know what I mean? That's just not setting a good example. That's not how you should go about things. Yeah, just look at this, embarrassing themselves. So I'm sure they'll come out and address it. But allegedly, they were with some girls and arguing about which brother, excuse me, could beat up the other brother, and then they actually started throwing down. Like, come on, guys. That's just not how you act. Now, Gervonta Tank Davis, day 5, still on the run for his battery case from October, still wanted by Miami PD. Shame on him, man. He's really, if there was no problem, you turn yourself in, there's some miscommunication. When you're avoiding it, you're really going to cause some problems for yourself, and especially in these prime years in your career, man, just a shame. We really don't want to see it, so hopefully he can get past this and get back on track, but we'll see what happens. A few months back, guys, I reported, and some people thought I was just putting clickbait or whatever, but I've heard it now from a few different sources that Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez, UFC fighter, was starting to get some momentum going. He just got added to the video game. Allegedly, he's in a prison in Mexico since last summer. He got caught trying to smuggle some drugs back over the border, and you really can't find much on him. I don't think the UFC plays with stuff like that. So he's really just sitting there. We haven't seen any updates. He hasn't posted or responded to anything. Hopefully he's okay and can get past that. I believe he has some prior charges, so hopefully it doesn't end up too serious. Now, Ryan Garcia, he always does these streams. He does these body shot challenge. Some guy, Zavala, wanted to do the body shot challenge with no body shield. Ryan Garcia hits him. Now he's crying, squealing, said he broke a rib. He had to go to the hospital. Guys, this is like the Jake Paul thing. Someone was going to get their rib broken. Jake Paul got pretty hurt. He's going to get seriously hurt if he keeps going that way. You know what I mean? And Zavala, he threw a punch. Look at this is how you guys' gangsta-ass homie be throwing punches. But absolutely crazy, guys. Yeah, that body shot challenge, I'm good on that. Well, I would never let someone give me a free body shot. You got to earn that. Now, a boxing fight that was pretty interesting I saw coming up. Alexander Usyk versus Deontay Wilder. Now, I mean, in my opinion, that's a pretty layup fight for Alexander Usyk. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Deontay Wilder. But like I said, in my opinion, it's just a layup fight because Wilder always just kind of has that one punch. If he catches you, you're out of there. If he doesn't, then we've seen him have some problems. And Usyk, although he's a lot smaller, he is the most technical, smooth, best heavyweight boxer that we've seen as far as, he came up from cruiserweight. He's a lot smaller, but he can just move, man. It's just crazy. It's really, I love watching him fight. He's big enough to take the big shots and bully the big guys and hang in there, but he's just so crispy and technical. So huge fan of Deontay Wilder, but I don't see that going his way. Maybe I'm wrong. I believe it's going to be July in San Francisco, so we'll see how that goes. Great episode today, guys. Lots of stuff. Episodes are going to be even more action-packed now. All these fights back in action. The following weekend, we have UFC 325 and Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez. That is going to be a huge fight. I'm really, really excited for that. As always, guys, before we get out of here, the message of the week: your life doesn't change in a year. Your life changes in the small decisions you make during the year. Right? So if you want to get in shape, it's the times you choose to stay dialed, do your workouts, stick to your diet. Financially, you're trying to get in a better position. It's the times you save instead of spend. You only spend on what's necessary and not extra. So those little decisions we make on a day-to-day basis really make a big result in the end. So keep that in mind. Sometimes we get bored, we get over the little stuff, but it's really, really a lot more important than people think. Just want to let you guys know that. That's a wrap, guys. Episode 47. I truly appreciate all the support, guys. Keep running up the channel. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, whatever it may be. See you guys next week. As always, let's get out of here on our outro.